Hey everyone, we're back home after a successful run at Stable View. I thought it was a really good outing. This is Frank's dressage. I thought his quality of work was really good. He scored a 30, which is all right. First event of the season. Just a few things that you kind of get used to doing things like is you do the canter change through the trot. So, I had to be a little bit careful because every time, you head across the diagonal and think you're going to change leads, he's thinking flying change now. So that's a little bit different than when you get them to prelim and you only work on the prelim movements. But I thought he was good in the ring. I thought his demeanor was good, and I think his trot work here is, very good and expressive. And his show jumping around, I thought was really good. I thought it was beneficial to run this event like a little bit what we're doing, not going to Southern Pines. We're getting all of the benefits that you would normally get except for atmosphere. And while there weren't a lot of people around, there's a lot of atmosphere because Stable View has tons of buildings and banners and all of that. So the show jumping, there's quite a lot for Frank to spook at, and I thought he held it together pretty well. It helps that the jumps are pretty small for him, but he's still just as spooky as he ever was. So having to deal with the banners and the in the pavilion and the grandstands, that's the hard part for him, and I thought he held it together pretty well. So now we're back in PA, and so it was a little bit the same as last year. At the beginning of the season, we always build their fitness up. We do long trots. We do interval canter training. Where we'll go for 4 minutes, 3 times, and then 5 minutes 3 times, 6 minutes 3 times, 7 minutes 3 times. But you're not going particularly fast. And with Frank being the type of horse he is, he when you get to an event and you say, "Oh, Larry, we're going to go a little faster," he's a little bit slow on the trigger. He's like, "Oh, we're going faster now. That's new." So that's how it was last year. That's how it was this year too. But now that we're back, the ground's a little bit softer this year than it was last year when we got home. We found some places where the footing was a little bit more consistent, a little firmer, and we're back to putting a little speed under him. And last year I went to a gallop every day for a while system. I haven't gone quite that far because I don't trust the ground quite as much as I did last year. I thought last year it was just about perfect, but this week the footing's been pretty good because it hasn't rained too much, and I've been galloping every other day. And again, now considerably shorter periods of time. Sometimes it's just 45 seconds or a minute, but it'll be up a hill and it'll be very, very fast. So, that works to sharpen his personality up and make it so that when I'm on cross country, if I land over a fence and say, "All right, now it's time to gallop," he's going to be much more keen to get on with it. It won't be physically what it was before you started putting the speed on. That's just a way that we can adjust the horse's personalities. Like if you had a hot sort of blue-blooded thoroughbred, you could probably go all the way to a championship without doing any real speed work. You could probably just do the trot and canter sets all the way to it. But having the warm bloods, the horses that are not quite as eager to go, you just change that a little bit. You say, well, we'll do shorter distances, but we'll go much faster. So as you can see, there's a lot in this arena, and the jumps are spooky enough. I thought it was a very interesting course that they laid out. A little bit like this line from 2 to 3, things that you don't all the time see in show jumping. A lot of times in show jumping you just see a lot of, longer, straighter lines, not that sort of 90-degree turn. He did this all very easily, and I thought he was very relaxed. So when I got home, I jump schooled him a couple times now, and I've been working on kind of sharpening him up, because while this is all fine for the show jumping, having him a little bit sharper on cross country is helpful for me. Have him a little bit more up in front of me. So the plan from here is we go to Morven Park this weekend, which, again, I think the ground is going to be pretty good. It's been mostly dry for this week, even though last weekend, there was a huge amount of rain in the area. But now it's starting to dry out, so I think the conditions will be pretty ideal. I think it's going to be, the temperature is going to get up to 70 on Saturday, which would actually be a little bit warm for Frank, but he'll go in the morning. He'll go dressage at 9 and then jump at 11. So I don't think it'll be 70 at that point. It'll probably be around 60, and it's supposed to be cloudy. So I think those will be pretty ideal sort of conditions. And, here in this jump school, you see, I'm trying to get him a little bit sharper. You can see he kind of swishes his tail every once in a while, because I'm just asking him to be a little bit sharper in his way of going. This is a little bit more like cross-country training in the ring, and you see I got the chevrons and the corners out, so I'm riding a little bit more like I would on cross-country than I would in the show jumping. And these aren't terribly big jumps, but they're good exercises, these S-turns, and, these turns are helpful to get him back on his hind end. There's always a struggle with Frank being as downhill as he is. But you see here, I'm keeping a little bit of pace throughout the ring. So the Morven, it's the intermediate we'll run this week, and then after that it'll be 2 weekends, and we'll be back at the advanced level at Fair Hill. So we could run the short format 4-star there, or we could run the advanced. I'm kind of leaning towards the advanced, just because, again, I usually only run one FEI before I do a 3-day, and that's going to be at Jersey. He'll do the short format 4-star at Jersey. So I think the advanced for him at Fair Hill would probably suit just fine. Just it's supposed to be a shade easier than the FEI division, which is fine. So that you basically every event this spring you would move up a level. Prelim at Stableview, intermediate at more of an advanced at Fair Hill, and then the short format 4-star at Jersey. So then you're just getting progressively harder every day, every event that we go out, and that should have him pretty well prepped in good form when we get to Bromont in June.